Cassie Ventura is out in court testifying against Diddy, but it wasn't too long ago before she was giving us this bop. Let's take a look at what her astrology has to say of her as a person, but also of the very karmic journey that she's on right now. Miss Cassie is coming in as a Virgo sun. We don't have a time for her, so we're not going to use a housing system. And I do have to say that her moon sign is a little bit estimated. If she was born after 10 p.m., she would have had a Gemini moon. So we're going to read her as a Virgo sun, Taurus moon. She's coming in really hot with a lot of earth signs in her birth chart, yet Virgo is the one leading the way. She is a Virgo sun. So I always like to tell anybody who comes to me that has strong Virgo placements, who is your God? Know the God you are serving, because Virgo is one of the zodiac signs that has a need to serve, whether it's people, a collective, another person, a dog, a cat. They have a sensibility to them that wants to aid, that wants to help. Pisces is the other sign, but Virgo does this in a more practical way. I'll do this favor for you. I'll take you here. I'll pick this up for you. It's a very practical, earthy way of expressing it. So they're very helpful, right? They can be. So when it comes to Cassie, right? If I was her mother, I would be raising her to know who is the God you're serving, what is your gift to people, and how can you make sure that you have discernment with how much you give and how much you are being given back, right? And I say this because her karmic journey is pretty strong in self-identification. Cassie has the North Node in Aries, which says, I'm here to identify myself in this lifetime. I'm here to know who I am. I'm here to possibly defend myself, possibly fight for how I want to be seen. And that's sometimes going to come at the cost of mutedness, right? If her North Node is in Aries, that means her South Node is in Libra. And the South Node in Libra is a person who is very muted in self-expression because of wanting harmony around her. Now, this can be taken to a very superficial level where it's somebody who just wants to be the cute girl, the one who's, doted on. But it can also be somebody who doesn't know how to stand up for themselves, how to say something is wrong. So they're learning these cues in this lifetime. It doesn't surprise me that these people are going to be put into situations that really challenges them to either speak up, say something for themselves, or find a way to find their voice. It doesn't mean that these things are okay. It's always like, in the human perspective, person to person, what she went through was crazy and unwarranted. But it's a way to explain it through the lens of astrology. Now, this specific generation, people who are born, it's 1986, they have the South Node in Libra with Chiron and Gemini, which makes it even more difficult to speak up. Chiron and Gemini is the wound of communication. I'm not going to be believed. I don't have the right words to say. How can I even put this together? I don't have my thoughts ingrained. And then this specific generation also has Saturn in Sagittarius, which is broken belief systems. Not having a sense of faith, not feeling that you have a purpose, or having to define that amongst not knowing who you are. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of internal work for a person, especially somebody in the spotlight. So what made Cassie go into this karmic situation, karmic crisis? Number one, she has crazy synastry with Puff Daddy, but we're not going to get into that today. That's going to take us into a whole other rabbit hole. But number two is actually her moon sign. Her moon sign in Taurus is the deadly one that's taking her into these realms of karmic crisis is coming up to her. And this is because her moon is coming up as a Taurus moon. It's ruled by Venus, South Node in Libra. Venus is compromised in her chart. And not just that, but Venus is conjunct the South Node. So it's saying that you're going to have karmic experiences with certain souls and certain people in this lifetime. Her moon sign would have wanted the things. Her moon sign would have said, I want the status, I want the money, I want the lux, and I want to be able to say that I have these practical things. Remember, her sun doesn't really care about it. Her sun wants to be more of servitude. Her moon sign is more drawn to those higher quality experiences, which is a very Venus trait, which brings her into that docile, submissive state of the South Node in Libra, which says, I'll shut up or I'll be here as long as I can have these things, right? So that is the lesson for her to say, at what cost, towards his self-worth, self-value, at what cost am I going to keep going in this muted sense of expression? Another thing that I think is really interesting is people that have really strong Virgo and Libra placements. I call them the princesses of astrology, and that's because they're so gracious, they're so soft, and really they only want to be like doted on, and they just hold a really strong space for softness and sensuality. Some people I'm thinking about, just because she came up on my FYP yesterday, was Catherine Payas, I think. So Austin McBroom's ex-wife. So she's actually a Virgo Sun, Libra Moon. I looked up and I'm like, makes total sense. She's got this like total soft, gracious energy to herself that I think her fans also really pick up, right? But again, that Libra energy is very muted, takes too much. It doesn't really say what it needs to say. For us, it looks like quick enough, right? Where Cassie seems to be today is her hero's journey. She's got the North Node in Aries, which says, stand up for yourself, you have to create the space for who you are. And she has absolutely come full circle to that, where she's now testifying against a judge on what happened to her, and she's laying out the laws that this can't be done to her, and she's seeking her justice. So it's like a beautiful blend of both energies, which makes it very karmic, with the South Node in Libra getting justice, but the North Node in Aries says, I'm Cassie, I'm public, this is my name, and this is what happened to me. And so I'm very happy for her for doing this for herself and for all the other women that are involved in this whole story and this whole case. Nevertheless, I have still so much more to say, but this video is getting too long. Let me know if you have questions below. Let me know if you want to see the synastry between her and Diddy and anything else that you want me to talk about.